Hey everyone, it's Sevy and welcome back to another Tower of Fantasy video. In this video, I'd like to talk about the various banners, currencies, stores, shops, basically the gacha mechanics that we're looking at in Tower of Fantasy. I'll also talk about the pity system and things like that. I'm making this guide because there are a lot of gacha things going on inside Tower of Fantasy and it can be overwhelming, might be hard to wrap your head around, so hopefully with this video, you'll understand better what to spend on, how to more efficiently use your currencies and collectibles and things like that. Now, I'm going to be primarily taking this from a free-to-play point of view. I think this game is pretty free-to-play friendly and doesn't require you to spend or swipe any real money on it. So let's talk about what's worth it and what's not. Before we dive into spendables, I'm going to look at the rewards here that you can get as a new player. The first one is this newcomer event. Now, this is the SSR Selector or SSR box that Tower of Fantasy advertised on their Twitter as something that every new player can get if you register in the first few days or weeks of launch. And what it is a weapon box wherein once you reach the accumulated number of points, here it's 700 points, you can get an SSR Simulacra or weapon of your choice. So the points that you're getting for this are mostly from missions, basically going through the game and you can claim them naturally. I've been playing for about 10 hours now and I'm currently at 315. Claiming some now, I'm at 380 points. And it looks like you'll be able to get that SSR box in a few days, tops. The next thing you'll notice down here is a Clotho Supply Pod. So this Clotho Supply Pod advertises discounts on the gold nuclei. I'm going to talk more about the gold nuclei later, but the main thing I want to tell you is not to spend dark crystals on these. Dark crystals are your currency here. If you're coming from Genshin Impact, they're like your primo gems. Now, don't spend your dark crystals on these because if you look at this bar here, if you wait long enough, 13 days later, I know it's a while, but if you wait long enough, you can get these wishes for free. There's another reason I'm telling you not to spend the dark crystals on these, and it has to do with the banners. Okay, so looking at the banners, if you open the menu here by clicking that or pressing escape if you're on PC, we go to the banners. And this is where you can order simulacra / weapons. And the first banner you see is a standard permanent banner. This one, you need to spend gold nuclei on it. And if you switch here on the bottom right, this is where you spend black nuclei. So starting with the black nuclei, these are very abundant nuclei that you can find around the open world. You can find them through exploration, you can get them from achievements and rewards, you can get them from daily bounties. But the thing with the banner that you spend them on is that there is no pity system. There's a probability, but there's no guarantee that at X amount of special orders or X amount of wishes, you're going to get an SSR weapon or even an SR weapon. I have done like a series of 20 or 30 pulls on this banner without getting an SR weapon. And yeah, that's why it's pretty abundant, but again, no pity. Going back to the gold nuclei, on the other hand, these are rarer than the black nuclei. You can still get them from the open world. You can get one from daily bounties, or you can get them through the battle pass or purchasable deals. So as the rarer currency, this banner does have guarantees. It does have a pity system. Here, you're guaranteed at least one SR or SSR weapon every 10 pulls, and you're guaranteed one SSR weapon every 80 pulls. One important thing to note about this 80 pull pity is that it doesn't reset even if you get an SSR beforehand. What this means is, for example, you get an SSR at 20 pulls or even another one at 40, you're still guaranteed another SSR at 80 pulls. Another thing is that this banner actually has a hidden pity. It doesn't say anywhere in the info here, but since this game has been out on CN servers, it's been found that you get your first SSR within 30 pulls. And you can see this here. I'm at 30 pity, 30 out of 80 pity. And if you look at my records, I only have one page of pulls, and I got my first SSR a few pulls ago. Now you might be thinking, oh no, you're just really lucky. But if you go around and ask a lot of players when they got their first SSR, it's probably within the 20 to 30 pull range. And that's because of the hidden pity. So right now you can see here the roster of Simulacra that you can pull for this banner, but take note that it's possible that some limited characters might get added into the pool in the far future because other games do that. It's very, very possible. But right now you just want to spend what you get to help build your weapon and Simulacra choices. Now let's go to the Choice Matrix banner, which is right below it. So the currency you're using here is proof of purchase. These are purchasable, and you can also farm them from void rifts, which I'll just check out right now and quickly show you. Go here and you go to the challenge. There's void rifts here. You need to reach level 35 to unlock. You can farm proof of purchases here. A quick overview of what matrices are actually used for. You can affix these to your weapons in order to make them stronger, basically. So take, for example, this weapon. I click this icon right here on the right-hand side, and you see these slots for matrices. You see that they're adding stats. Basically, you level them up. They make the weapon stronger. If you're coming from Genshin Impact, they are like your artifacts. Going back to the special orders page, these have their own weapon store, which you can access from this lower left diamond right here. It leads you to this weapon store, and now you look at this currency that we call black gold. Now, every time you spend a gold nucleus, regardless of whether it gives you an R or SR or SSR weapon, you get one black gold back. Now, accumulating the black gold will let you buy dupes or copies of weapons that you already have. So I already have this SSR weapon and these SR weapons, but because I don't have any other SSR weapons, you do not see them in my store currently. Basically, by buying these, you're able to advance the weapon and get more effects from them. So naturally, I would save up these black gold in order to get a copy of the SSR weapon that I already have here because those are rarer. Similarly, down in the Matrix store, every time you spend a proof of purchase, you get one of these back. It's called a base chip, and you can choose which box, whether SR or SSR, to purchase. From here, we see there are a bunch of other stores on the left-hand side, so let's run through those quickly. First, we have the Crystal Dust store, and the main currency here is Energy Crystal Dust. You get this as a reward for spending Vitality, which is basically like your stamina in the game. You spend it, and then it replenishes it over time. What you can get from this store are special gifts, and these aren't gifts for other wanderers, but actually for your Simulacra. So heading over to Simulacra, we click the Awaken page. You can give them gifts, and by doing so, you get Awakening points. Racking up Awakening points will let you unlock things like this avatar, a log, and at 1200 Awakening points, you unlock a trait. And this is actually a trait that's useful in combat. The other stuff that you can get from this store in particular are these pieces of equipment. Now, these are equipment that you can equip on yourself, not the Simulacra or the weapon, but these are things that you can wear. Going back to your character page, let's look at the backpack, and these are the equipment slots, basically. They still unlock at level 25. I'm not yet level 25, but once you can get these from the store, the equipment down here in the store is likely going to become fodder for higher level equipment that you can attain down the line. Next, we have the crew store. Now, to access the crew store, you need to join a crew, which is like a guild, and then do crew missions to level up the store. This gets you duplicates of relics, as you can see, and advancing these relics adds effects that make them better at what they do. Quickly looking at the relics page, these are the relics that I have, and getting these advancements, you see the effects right here. Below the crew store, we have the support store, and the points that you get here are called support points, and you get them from helping new wanderers. An example of this is going to a co-op vitality spending activity such as this, like we have the joint operation. If you help other vitality spending wanderers complete the run and you don't have vitality to spend yourself, you basically get those support points back as, helping other wanderers complete the run. Now that we're done with the stores over here, let's go back to the banner and now check out the limited event weapon slash simulacrum banner. The currency that you spend on this banner are red nuclei, and red nuclei can be purchased using dark crystals or tanium. Tanium is the currency in game that you purchase using actual money, and we're gonna take a look at where and how much tanium is later on in another store and other purchasing deals where you will be able to get red nuclei. But basically, this is what you can spend, and only this is what you can spend on the limited banners. And it also has separate orders for the weapon slash simulacrum and the matrices. The matrices will correspond to the limited event weapon. So for example, we have Nemesis as the featured weapon here, and the matrices that correspond to Nemesis herself. The pity on this banner is going to carry over to the next banner. And so will the pity on the limited event matrix. So the limited event banners actually have their own limited store, which we'll take a look at right now. And it's very similar to what we saw earlier in the standard weapon store, but instead of black gold, we are using flame gold. And again, you get a flame gold from spending red nuclei. And you get an overclocking chip from spending a special voucher to order a special matrix. You use these for the SSR weapons and the SSR matrices respectively. However, there's a very, very important note here. Converted into black gold in equal value after limited order is over, which means that if you still have remaining flame gold after the duration of the event banner, it's going to turn into black gold. Unfortunately, you won't be able to carry over that flame gold into the next limited event banner. Anyway, you can see that the weapon here, which is basically the weapon that comes with the Nemesis Simulacrum on this current event banner, is 120 flame gold. This means that it actually guarantees you the limited SSR weapon at 120 red nuclei max. Alright, now that we've gotten the banners and their respective stores out of the way, the last shot we have to deal with you can actually find up here in the upper right hand corner itself. So clicking that, we are starting with the Wanderer supplies. First, you have this monthly supply, and this is kind of like your Welkin Moon if you're coming from Genshin Impact. Basically, it's something that will supply you with things over the course of 30 days, and these monthly cards are usually quite worth it, if you're willing to spend a little bit. Some deals here on the side I personally don't think are worth it, so that's up to your discretion, but personally, I wouldn't go for it. Moving on to the daily supply box, we have some discounted items here that you receive over the course of 7 days. Now, let's examine this further. Obtain now, you get this list of items, and then for the 6 days succeeding, you get these every day. So looking at the total of this, you spend 2,646 tanium, but in return, you get items that are worth a total of around 3,360 dark crystals plus the other resources. So it's kind of like getting a 30% discount in terms of dark crystals and resources, and this is going to pay off over the course of 7 days. Moving on, we have the hot tab. And this is the direct conversion of dark crystals to whatever you want to buy. Most notably, you're going to see that you can get red nuclei here using the 150 dark crystals per nucleus. Other deals, however, that we're going to see on the last page here will get you a discount on important things like red nuclei. So I would say that this is your last priority in terms of spending or converting with the dark crystals. First, try to grab the discounts if you are going to take advantage of these shops. Moving on, we have the purchase reward, and these are the tanium I was talking about. This is where you spend your actual currency, whether it's dollars or pesos, whatever your local currency is. And that's going to convert into a 1:1 ratio of tanium. Like most gachas, first-time purchases do get a bonus reward. Finally, we have the limited gift pack, and these were the discounted deals I was talking about. They do have a limit, which I think refreshes every so often, maybe every month or every banner, but basically, instead of getting, for example, one red nucleus for 150 dark crystals here, you get one red nucleus for 60 tanium. All right, so if you buy a bunch of tanium, take advantage of these first before you convert into dark crystals and then convert into further nuclei or items. Another example is this August gift pack, which is priced at 3,280 tanium, and in reality, that is worth 4,500, which is like around a 30% discount from the original value. So again, spend it on the discounted packs first. These are very important to take advantage of if you are spending. That being said, I want to remind you that I do believe this game can be enjoyed as free to play as possible. Personally, I don't plan on spending on this game. I've been playing it for a while and I don't currently see any incentive to spend. So that being said, I hope this video is going to help you make some informed decisions about what you're going to spend on, if any, what you're going to convert to, what activities you can look at if you're trying to save up for something. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment if it helped you out. It does help me out if you leave a comment. And consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I usually cover Genshin Impact content, but since I'm interested in Tower of Fantasy, I'm going to be covering some helpful advice for new players here as well. So if you're interested in that, please do consider subscribing. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon. Take care!